Hi everyone. Welcome to Make Your Website Work for You. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Jesus Hernandez. I work as a librarian for the City of Kyle. I enjoy facilitating workshops for Grow with Google because I like to see the newfound skills that people attain here inspire them to create websites for their businesses, personal presence, or just to further develop themselves professionally. Today, I hope that you can take something away from this, anything at all, and if you can make one positive improvement on your website, then I'll count that as a win. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. For those of you that don't know, Grow with Google is an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business using Google tools. Today, you're going to learn how to create a website that supports your business goals. Whether you're launching a new website or sprucing up an old one, this workshop will help you to learn how to get the most out of your site. So let's get started. We know that today more than ever, small businesses are getting online to connect with consumers and drive sales. After all, many of us are connecting with businesses from our own homes. It's important to make sure you update your website with critical information, news, and announcements affecting the operation of your business and your customers. Start by reviewing your website to identify products, services, and operations that may be affected. Then, add information and resources to help your customers understand these changes. Continue to add updates when appropriate. This is a time of uncertainty for so many, and whatever you can do to assure your customers, whether it's informational or inspirational, will be helpful and appreciated. As many businesses shift some or all of their operations online, it's more important than ever that your website works for your business. Let's start by reviewing web design. When people think of web design, they often think of the overall template, the look and the feel. That is, the graphics and layout that appears consistently throughout the site. That design is just one component of web design. Within the graphic template, there are lots of common elements that appear on most websites, including the header or top section of the website. The header usually includes a company logo in the left corner, and most website visitors expect that the logo will link to the homepage. The footer, or the bottom section of the website. The footer usually includes important links, contact information, and copyright information. And navigation, usually horizontally across the top of the site, below the header, or vertically on the left side of the website. The web design should lay out a set of guidelines that keep web pages consistent. Colors, font sizes, font styles, and types of content. Some websites are designed and built from scratch. Many websites use a content management system, or CMS, like Shopify, Wix, WordPress, and many others. Most CMS options include web-based tools to easily build, customize, and update a website. There are many options out there, and they are all a little different. If you're just getting started, review your options and find the software that you are most comfortable using. Whether you're building a website from scratch or using a content management system, all of the principles from today's workshop will apply. In today's presentation, we're going to look at 6 characteristics of a great website. Remember that a website is not all about design. A great website is goal-oriented. How does it help you grow your business? It's organized and easy to search. It's useful. Does your site provide useful content? It's functional. It's intuitive to use on any device. And last but not least, it's findable by search engines. You have to start by thinking about the goal of your website. What is the purpose of your website? Many business owners know that building a website is an important early step, But a website can be a lot more useful than it just being an online business card or brochure. With some advanced planning, you can create a site that helps your business grow. But how do you want to grow? You need to start by defining goals. Ask yourself, why do I want a website? What do you want it to do? Think of your site as a tool that can help you achieve business goals. The goals depend on your business, but some examples are build company brand, generate leads, make sales, re-engage customers, attract employees, provide customer support, and more. Next, think about your target audience, who your website is for. This influences how you will build your site to achieve your goals. Your audience impacts everything, from the graphic design to the words on the web pages. Your site should not try to be everything to everyone. Narrow in on your audience and not the world. Defining your target audience might sound simple, but it takes some effort. It's relatively easy to define an audience with demographic data, like gender, age, and employment status. But if you stop there, it makes it more difficult for your business to stand out among competitors. And stereotypes about your audience can lead to false assumptions. Ask yourself, what makes your audience unique? Your goal is to develop a more complete picture of your target audience. For example, examine specific age ranges rather than one large range. Consider location: city, suburbs, rural, somewhere else. Consider education level. Consider type of employment. Consider hobbies and interests. Consider values. Consider their view of your product or service. Is it a necessity? Is it nice to have? Or is it a special treat? Once you have defined your audience, keep them in mind while moving forward with your site. Now that you're thinking about your goals and your audience, let's add another consideration to the mix: tracking and measuring success. If you don't track or measure your website's performance, you won't have a way to make improvements. Well, improvements based on data. Here's another way to think about it. Let's say you made some modifications to your bicycle to make it go faster. If you don't know your max speed before the modifications, how will you know if it worked? Similarly, you need to track and measure online success so you know what kind of improvements to make. You should always be testing. There are lots of ways to do it, some with more accuracy than others. You can start by simply asking your customers how they found you. You can ask them when they call you on the phone, when they visit your store, or when you're corresponding by email. You can also get more precise by setting up a trackable phone number. If you advertise with Google, you can set up free call tracking, which records every time your ad results in a phone call. You can track the number of emails and form submissions from your website. If you have an e-commerce website, you can track sales. You can use web analytics software like Google Analytics to analyze visitor behavior on your site. So let's talk about Google Analytics briefly. Google Analytics is a free tool that can help you better understand your audience and their activity on your website. This information will help you make more strategic decisions for your business. When reviewing your Google Analytics data, you will be able to learn which search terms and sources drive the most traffic. See demographic data information for your most profitable customers and understand what content your audience is most interested in. And you can also evaluate which channels drive the most conversions. To set up a Google Analytics account, first go to g.co/analytics. You'll start by either creating a new account or signing into your existing analytics account. Next, you'll need to set up a property in your analytics account if you haven't already done so. Follow the instructions to add the tracking code to your website so you can collect data in your reports. If you use a content management system, there may be a place to enter your Google Analytics tracking ID. Try searching your CMS's Help Center for how to add Google Analytics. And just as a reminder, this is a screenshot for an older version of Google Analytics. The new version will have a different account organization and reports. But here's an example of one helpful Google Analytics report. This is part of a category of reports called audience reports. Audience reports provide insight into characteristics of your users, such as demographics, interests, geography, language and behavior, technology, and devices. Some business owners have preconceived notions about their customers, like typical age range, gender, interests, or maybe the preconceived notion extends to what visitors want or want to do on the website. Analytics can provide the data needed to understand your website visitors and potentially detect a mismatch. As you create or improve your website, you can use that information to fine-tune the site based on the data. Now that we've talked about goals and tips for choosing a design, let's talk about the information within the website. A great website is well organized. Even if you don't have a lot of web pages now, your site should grow over time. Planning how existing and future content will fit into the framework of your website will set your site up for success. You want to start with a plan, an information architecture plan. Information architecture, or IA, sounds technical, but you don't need to be a website designer, programmer, or an architect to create one. Simply put, it's a plan to organize your information on your website. The IA maps out sections, pages, and functionality of your site. There are several pages and sections found on most websites, including the home page, an About Us page or section, a contact page. Depending on your business, you will probably include a products or services section too. But how do you organize that information? The best way is by considering your business goals. Earlier in this workshop, we talked about business goals. Think about those goals as you're planning out your website. Let's take a look at an example. This example, business sells jewelry. You can see that their products are organized by jewelry type. Now think about your business and what your customers might be looking for when they visit your website. How can you organize that so that there is an easy flow to your site? Here are a few tips to get you started. When you're choosing names and labels for parts of your site, keep them short and descriptive. And as you create your website plan, remember to keep the most important information in the main navigation. That information will depend on your business and your business goals. That plan can help you create the most appropriate website design. To get started, define your target audience. You already did that earlier, so do you have any new ideas about that? What do you want people to take away from this website? Ask people what they want to take away. Think about the questions people ask you about your business. Make a list of keywords related to your business. You can incorporate any into your navigation. Use lists to keep site content, colors, icons, imagery consistent with goals. Make a list of information you have or want to have on your website. How will that information help you reach your business goals? And the image to the right here shows a homepage of Missouri Star Quilts. In this example, MissouriStarQuiltCompany.com, you'll see short, clear descriptions in the main navigation. The business owner has organized the site into categories that are relevant to and understood by her target audience, such as yardage and pre-cut fabric. You can also see information about online shopping in the top right navigation, where you may be accustomed to seeing the shopping cart. Additionally, she has included promotions front and center to catch the attention of her customers. We've talked about goals and organization. The next thing you need to consider is creating relevant content and experiences, no matter what device your visitors use. Let's talk about mobile. The image to the right shows a woman tapping her smartphone. Did you know that more than 50% of all web traffic is now coming from smartphones and tablets? Consumers expect to be able to use your website on their phones, and it shouldn't be hard to do. In fact, 46% of people say they would not purchase from a brand again if they had an interruptive mobile experience. Making your website work on mobile devices is no longer an afterthought, it's a priority. The good news, more and more websites are being built from the start with technology that automatically optimizes the website format to best fit the device it's being viewed on. This responsive web design adjusts the site's appearance to best present the information based on the size of the screen and type of device. But no matter what device a visitor uses, they have to find useful information on the website. Let's talk about useful information for your website, the content. When you hear the term content, the first thing you probably think about is text, like the words in a book. That's one type of content, but it also includes images, videos, downloads, tools, and many others. For example, if your products are visual, you might want to add a photo gallery section. If your products need to be set up, you might create a how-to video to help customers. If you sell cameras, you might offer downloadable PDF product manuals. Or, if your customers need answers to questions, you can offer tools to help. For example, if your business delivers mulch to residential customers, create a mulch calculator to help them order the right amount. Think about your business. What content would be useful for your customers? What content would support your business goals? Whenever possible, create original, unique content that can help set your business apart from the competition. And one more thing to keep in mind, as you create and publish content on your website, consider how customers might search on Google to find that content. Be sure to include those words and phrases in your content to help Google and other search engines find and index it. For example, let's use the example of a jogger who has developed an aching foot. Your website might sell the perfect shoe inserts for that problem, but what if she doesn't know why her feet hurt? Your website might include content that describes heel pain and helps her find your product. If you're not sure how people search on Google, try Google Trends. Google Trends is a free tool that you can use to understand the relative popularity of keywords over time, like the comparison of yoga terms in this mobile screenshot. You can use it to research keyword popularity and incorporate important keywords into your website content. Let's take a look at an example of a yoga studio that wants to create relevant content to help humans and Google understand what their website is about. Using Google Trends, the yoga studio can compare keyword popularity, vinyasa or restorative, flow or hot. Visit g.co/trends. Enter your keywords or phrases you would like to compare. Narrow results by location by clicking on the state or region. You can adjust the date range. Then view the results. You can also see related queries to get ideas for new terms. Let's move on to another aspect of a great website, functionality. What does functionality mean in this context? It refers to the part of your websites that allows visitors to take actions. If you are making a list of all the functionality you want on your site, it might include a site search, a contact form, an online shopping cart or checkout, or a custom tool designed specifically for your users. Functionality should support your business goals. Let's look at two scenarios. Scenario 1. You run a shoe repair business. People either call or stop by to get quotes for their repairs. So you could create an online form for customers to submit their information and a picture of their needed repair so that they can get a quote online without having to visit the store or calling to give a description of the item and needed repair. Scenario 2. You answer the same set of questions on the phone every day. How can your website help? Maybe you could create a simple web page, a frequently asked questions page, to help customers find answers to the most basic questions. Don't add functionality for the sake of having it. It should always have a good purpose. Add functionality that helps customers. For example, if you own a restaurant and your customers constantly ask about the option to place their takeout order online, you could think about adding an online ordering page to your website. Customers typically want to minimize the amount of time spent performing tasks on your website. Try to minimize steps in the checkout process with features like mobile payments. Keep forms short and sweet. Avoid interruptions like pop-ups when visitors land on your website. And don't embed videos that will autoplay with sound when visitors land on your website. And don't trade user experience for beautiful design. In the case of a website, it's function over form. We've covered some big picture topics including goals, organization, functionality, and now let's look at how easy it is to navigate your site. This section is focused on design, but not how pretty it looks, how intuitive it is. In other words, does your site design naturally lead visitors through the process on the site? Can visitors use your site without struggling or even thinking hard and accomplish tasks? A design that's easy to use can have a significant impact on whether your site supports your business goals. Let's take a look at a few things to consider when building a great experience for website visitors. First, the navigation. Make it easy to get around your site. You can do this by highlighting elements that are selected, for example, when choosing options on an e-commerce store. Designing your site to allow plenty of space for users to tap. If you think of users on mobile devices, just give them enough space to select things. If your site includes a call to action or CTA, make it tappable to take visitors directly to the content they want to access. The example on this slide shows the website of Patricia Nash Designs. There is a big Learn More link that takes you directly to her newest collection. Next, make it easy for customers to shop, continue shopping, and come back to an earlier page in case they want to come back to the site after a break. Notice that this example business adds a helpful Added to Cart button to allow customers to continue shopping. Another tip is to recommend similar products throughout the shopping experience to make it easy for them to find what they need. Tip 3 is to make it easy for visitors to check out and pay on mobile devices. How many of you have visited a website and tried to check out only to have difficulty entering your credit card numbers or updating order details? A difficult checkout process can have a major impact on a website's conversion rate. Here are some things you can do to make it easier for your visitors to check out. Reduce the number of steps in the checkout process. Show visitors progress as they move through the checkout process. This lets them know they're just about done. The image you see on this screen shows the checkout progress for Janus Motorcycles. Use guest checkouts so visitors don't have to create an account to make a purchase. Just make sure to offer them the option to sign up or save their profiles for next time, preferably after the transaction is complete. Last, you can enable digital wallets such as Google Pay or Apple Pay to make payment easy. Since we know that mobile is so important, it's a good idea to be sure your website is compatible with all devices. Google Chrome Inspector tool found within Google Chrome helps you test your website's compatibility from all different device types. The image on this screen shows a sample website with Google Chrome Inspector revealing the HTML for the website. To use Google Chrome Inspector, you can navigate to your website in a Chrome browser. Right-click anywhere on the page, and from that pop-up window, select Inspect. On the right-hand toolbar, select the icon labeled Toggle Device Toolbar. This will display a drop-down menu above your website labeled Responsive. From there, you can use the drop-down menu to view how your website appears on many types of devices. That's what we're showing here on this slide. Last but not least, a great website is search-friendly. You invested resources building a business website. You want to be sure people can find it when they search online. The process of helping a website increase its visibility on search engines is called search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO could merit its own presentation, but this section will give you some tips to get your site off to a good start. Being findable in the Google search results is critical for a business website that depends on visitor traffic. Most people use search engines first when they are looking for answers, and that's true of 75% of smartphone owners. This image of a Google search results page might look familiar, but let's break it down by sections. At the top you see a word, phrase, or even a question that the searcher typed in, called a search query. Below the search query, you see the search results. The result can include ads, identified with a sponsored or ad label. On this screenshot, you see shopping ads with thumbnail images of the products for sale. Below that, you see a text ad. Underneath the ads, in the center of the page, you see the start of the natural or organic results. Creating a search-friendly site helps increase your chances of appearing in those organic results. Google's algorithm identifies organic results, the most relevant and useful matches for the search. Clicks on links in the organic results are free. It's important to know that websites can never pay Google to appear in organic results. And advertising does not influence a website's organic presence or position. On the right sidebar, you see a business profile on Google. Local businesses with a storefront or service are created with this tool called Google My Business, which shows information on Google Search and Maps. Now that you understand the elements of a search results page, it might be helpful to understand how Google decides what information to display. How does search work? Imagine that the web is a book with trillions of pages. Google's job is to read that book, categorize the pages, and help searchers find the information on these pages. Easy, right? To read the pages, Google uses software called a web crawler or spider. As new web pages are found, they're added to Google's index. When people search, results are pulled from the index. To find the most relevant results, Google's algorithm uses over 200 signals, and examples of signals include things like the freshness of content on website content, the number of other websites linking to a particular site, and the authority of those links, quality of the content on a site, the URL and page title, whether the best result is a web page, an image, a video, or a news article. Websites that want to improve their chance in appearing higher in Google search results use search engine optimization, known as SEO. Some people hire companies or consultants to help with SEO. Others work on SEO themselves. Here are a few tips for helping your website appear in the search results. Tip number 1, optimize the time load, especially for mobile devices. You can test your site's mobile speed at g.co/testmysite. The tool can generate a free report that outlines areas on your site that could be improved. Another tip is original content. Useful, information-rich, clear, and accurate. Include keywords users would type to find your pages, and make sure that your site actually includes those words. For links, especially in the navigation, use text when possible. If it is an image, make sure to include relevant alt tags or alt descriptions. Adding internal links will help your website visitors find other areas of your website. Your website should include descriptive page titles and accurate page descriptions. Many content management systems include areas where you can add them for each page. Make each page title and description unique to each page. Remember information architecture? It not only helps your human visitors, it helps Google interpret the content, including what's important information and what's less important on your website. Remember to design your site for all browsers, device types, and sizes, including desktops, tablets, and smartphones. Another tool from Google that can help you to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search results is Google Search Console. Search Console is free. It measures your website's search traffic and performance, fix issues, and helps your site look its best in Google's search result. Even if you won't be using Search Console yourself, you should be aware of it. Become familiar with the basics of optimizing your site for search engines and know what features are available. If you hire someone to help with SEO, Search Console will likely be used to monitor website traffic, optimize ranking, and understand how the site appears in search results. The information from Search Console reports can influence technical decisions and offer marketing analysis in conjunction with other Google tools like Google Analytics, Google Trends, and Google Ads. To sign up for a free Search Console account, you can start by visiting g.co/Search Console. You will need to add a website property to your Search Console account and verify your ownership. You can create a property that includes an entire domain, like example.com, or a property that is limited to a single branch, like example.com/clothing. Once verification is complete, your account will be ready and it will start collecting data for the reports. Visit the Help Center to learn more about what you can do with Search Console, but here are a few highlights. You can receive an email if any unusual events occur with your website. Unusual events include indications that your website has been hacked or problems that Google had when crawling or indexing your site. Google will also email you if there's any detection that your site violates Google's search quality guidelines. You can check your Search Console status. You want to make sure that your site isn't experiencing an increase in errors or have any unusual dips in click counts. These could be signs of issues on your site that could be affecting your search ranking. And you can tell Google which pages to crawl by adding and updating your sitemap. And you can also tell Google which pages not to crawl by using robots.txt or no index tags. So here's a look inside Search Console. Check out all the available tools and reports, including the Performance Report, which shows important metrics about how your site performs in Google search results, how often it comes up, average position in search results, click-through rate, and any special features, such as rich results, associated with your results. The URL inspection tool, which allows you to check a specific URL on your website to see the status of how Google Search sees that URL. This tool provides detailed crawl, index, and serving information about your pages, directly from the Google Index, Google says, and the Mobile Usability Report, which shows which pages in your property have usability problems when viewed on mobile devices. Finally, you should think about your website not as your total presence online, but one small piece of the online puzzle. You have many ways to connect with your audience online. Sometimes you meet your customers in another way, like Google Ads or a YouTube channel. Be sure to connect all the ways your business appears online to help customers interact with your brand in as many ways as they can. We've covered a lot of information today. Let's talk about what you should do next. You can start by making a list of business goals that you want to support with your website. If you're building a new site, choose a design that works on all browsers and devices. If you've had your site for a while, check to see how it performs on all devices, especially mobile. Third, you can create or recreate a plan for your content. Your business's information architecture. Organization will help human visitors and search engines navigate your website more easily. Once you have your plan, you can start adding content. The more often you can publish useful, original content on your site, the better. Think about how your website can offer functionality that supports your business goals. Before investing the time and resources building a custom tool, it's worth checking to see if existing software can be bought or licensed for your site. And last but not least, be search engine friendly. If search engines can't find your website, potential customers will have a difficult time finding your website as well. Here are more resources that Google has that you can use when you want more information about websites or other Google tools. If you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, you can check out this app, Primer, available on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. This has a series of short, fun lessons, and they're all less than 5 minutes long each. Another great resource is the Kyle Public Library's catalog. We have LinkedIn Learning available for library members, and if you have any interest in library membership, feel free to email me after the presentation. You can grow your digital skills no matter where you're located. Through online workshops, you can learn skills that can help you stay connected and productive while working or managing a business remotely. If you're curious about the workshops you can take virtually from home, you can visit g.co/growonair for current virtual digital skills workshops and their descriptions. And you can also stay tuned for upcoming classes through the Kyle Public Library. And finally, Grow with Google is an initiative to help people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technology to work inside the classroom and outside of it as well. Small business owners can build their online presence and find new customers. Startups can learn how to get their ideas the exposure they need to succeed. Developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. And to learn more, you can always visit google.com/grow. So thank you so much for attending today's workshop. I'll be available for questions and answers after this.